in the mood to stir the pot today. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be talking about some knitting hot takes, controversial opinions, and I think I found some that would be truly controversial. So if you agree and if you disagree with anything I say, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions. The takes in this video, I've sorted them from least offensive to most offensive. So if you want to get offended real hard, just stay until the end of the video, because I think there's some really interesting stuff in here that I would love to discuss with you all in the comments. Also, if you do happen to feel offended by anything I say in this video, good. Because I think feeling offended is the first step towards reflecting why we feel offended and then developing our thoughts and developing our personality and opinions and becoming a better person for it. So let's go. To start us off, I'm just gonna do some very quick fire, small hot takes. The first one would be, I do not want to see another inget sweater ever again. Everyone and their dog has made one. I don't think it looks good, and it is incredibly basic. I have nothing against basic things, but it's just knits and purls and it's nothing special. It's not even a good basic, I think, because it does look busy. And I also do not like that it is so long. I think sweaters with a silhouette that long always just kind of look stupid. I'm sorry. The next one might already be a bit spicy, because I think if you are a designer and you do not interact with the people who knit your patterns whatsoever, they share a picture of their whip that is your pattern, or they share their finished objects, and you cannot even like the story, then you're an ungrateful douchebag, and you do not deserve people knitting your patterns. Because who are you writing these patterns for, if not for the people who knit them? So shouldn't you interact with them? Shouldn't you show them that you appreciate them knitting your pattern? Do you want to sell 0 patterns? Is that what you want? Then good, keep doing that. Pressing the like button is free, and showing someone that you appreciate them taking the time to knit your big ass sweater pattern is free. Now, let's get into the slightly bigger ones. My next controversial opinion is gonna be Plötulopi, Lutlopi, all of these kinds of yarns. They're kind of ugly. They only come in diarrhea shades. They're too thick for my liking. They're not plied. They're gonna tear. I'm not sure how well they're gonna hold up, but the yarn being so thick and not plied is gonna give your sweater the look of something that was made with a We Are Knitters kit. And that is not a good look in my opinion. I, of course, also wanna get in a few words on my least favorite sweater construction, the circular yoke. Circular yokes are stupid, and I don't like them because my body is not shaped like a trash can. I get that they're easy for beginners, but what kind of learning attitude is it when you refuse to challenge yourself and only do the easy things? I get that knitting is a relaxing hobby for many of us, but purling is not hard. Please get over yourself. We do not need any circular yokes. Also, yes, I do also dislike colorwork yokes because mathematicians have been crunching numbers for thousands of years just for you as a designer to take the easy way out and make use of the first and easiest and laziest charting and increase pattern that comes to your mind. I don't think so. Also, this does kind of apply to raglines as well, but I find that they do fit slightly better. Like, why would you just knit a round tube? We are not shaped like trash cans. Stop making circular yokes. Knitting kits are trash and, in most cases, a lazy money grab. In fact, I would argue that they're actually never intended to offer you as a knitter any added value. And I'm not talking about the kits that get you a big sweater pattern and then a yarn the color of which you can choose. That is a high quality yarn. I'm talking about we are knitters that have not great yarns, that feel kind of fast fashiony, and also a lot of knitters have made ads for some kind of other crafting kit that comes like once a month, and the tools in there, they look shitty, the yarn in there doesn't look nice, and if you get a kit where you cannot choose the yarn, you're most likely not gonna be happy with it because everyone's taste in yarn is so different and there's so many small particularities that can go wrong when you're just given a yarn. Also, I think the choice of tool you use for your knitting is so deeply personal. Some people like wooden needles, other people like metal needles, some people like dull needles, some people like very pointy needles, some people prefer to do the magic loop, other people prefer to knit on shorties. Like, how is a crafting kit gonna cater to every preference? I think it's inevitable that you're gonna end up disappointed, and also the patterns in that type of crafting kit are most likely not gonna be so complex that you'll learn anything from them. Whew. Second to last, I think this one might get me in trouble a little bit. If you build your entire brand on knitting things fast, you're embarrassing. First of all, there are knitters who make videos on whether they can knit a sweater in a day. And per se, I don't have anything against that because I think if you do it once or twice to just check out what would theoretically be possible with your own individual knitting speed, there is nothing wrong with that, right? I think everyone needs a challenge from time to time, and if knitting a sweater in a day is the thing that is gonna help you spice up your knitting game and make it fun for you again, then please go for it. I'm talking about people who constantly set themselves very tight deadlines, people who are cranking out stuff all the time, like a new sweater every week for a year or two. And I would argue if you constantly push yourself to knit faster than you organically would, you are a problem. Because the more you knit and the faster you knit, the more finished objects you're gonna produce. And therefore, since knitting is a material-based craft, the more material you're gonna consume over your entire lifespan. That is, by the way, also why I found myself gravitating towards smaller gauge projects in the recent month, because I've just gotten faster and I don't want to crank out a new sweater every 4 weeks. That just doesn't feel sustainable to me. And I totally get that not everybody knits because they want to take a stand against the fast fashion industry. I assume most People might knit because they enjoy making one-of-a-kind pieces that fit their body, their preference, because they enjoy making something that is truly unique. That's where you might start to take a route where you'll go for a finishing technique that is quicker, but doesn't give as nice of a finishing touch. Or you might skip a technique that would make the fit better, stuff like that. You are basically turning yourself into a sweatshop just because exercising some impulse control is not good for you. Just because valuing a craft that has been done for thousands of years and that was intended to be time intensive, because I guess women back in the day, they were forced to sit at home. They couldn't do much. So the more time the craft took up, the better, because the more fun you could have with it. That's not good enough for you anymore. It has to be fast all the time. It has to be shittier all the time. Really? I've actually blocked some bigger accounts because if I have to see one more piece of content that says knitting a fingering white sweater in 1 week because that gets me easy views, I'm gonna punch a wall. I do not want to see that kind of content on my page where I'm trying to be slow and de-shitify my own clothing. So to sum it up, if you build your brand on overconsumption and you animate other people to overconsume as well, I do not want to see your content. I'm sorry. Are you ready for the last one? I think that is a very interesting one, and I've not really seen anyone else talk about this, so please let me know what you think on this. The last hot take is: if you knit only with beige and other neutrals, you're a coward and you contribute to upholding the patriarchy. This one is actually based on a true event. If you are a knitter who identifies as a feminist, but you only knit with the most personality lust inducing shades of gray and beige and brown, I cannot take you seriously. Let me explain. There is a phenomenon that is called chromophobia. I'm going to read the definition to you. Chromophobia is a persistent, irrational fear of or aversion to colors and is usually a conditioned response. Please note especially the last part, a conditioned response, because I don't think that there are many people in the world who, from their own soul, the way their soul is set up, dislike colors. Like most of the knitters that I see knitting beige things and gray things and brown things are also people who appear to enjoy going outside into nature. And why do you enjoy going out into nature? Because it is calm? Yes. Because it might bring you a sense of inner peace? Yes. But also because nature is beautiful. And why is it beautiful? Because it has colors. I see these people buying bouquets of flowers, putting them in vases and admiring them. Do not tell me you do not like colors. I've been outside, I have met the stink bugs, so don't lie to me. If nature wasn't pretty and colorful, we would have already nuked it away a few years ago. So, you may be wondering, what does all of this have to do with patriarchy? The definition I just read to you is from the book named Chromophobia, which has been written by a man called David Batchelor. And in that book, he argues that Western cultures look down upon anything that is colorful, and that phenomenon is directly connected to racism and misogyny. In his book, he says, Color is regarded as alien, foreign, non-neutral, and therefore dangerous. It is marked as other. So basically, in terms of racism, that would mean colorful cultures are just too chaotic to be taken seriously. And I'm assuming a lot of non-Western cultures are very colorful and they celebrate color. And us here in the Western world, with our minimalism and beige interiors, for us, color is framed as too chaotic, too emotional. And color being too emotional actually brings me to my next point, because liking colors is often portrayed as childish, and people who like colors are often accused of being, again, chaotic and kind of unstable. They should not be trusted with their opinions, with their views. They should not be seen as any kind of person who would have something valid to say. One very interesting point that the article I read brought up is, imagine the festival of pride. The color, the spectacle of joy, all this is considered abnormal, foreign, alien, dangerous, and childlike, silly, frivolous. We can see these strategies across so many groups. Women are dangerous seducers, childlike emotions, not to be taken seriously. Trans people are dangerous predators. They don't know their own minds, etc. So actually, the very sentiment that makes you stay away from color is, on a scale, the same sentiment that spreads hate against so many groups of people and minorities. I don't think everyone who likes neutrals is a hateful person. By no means I want to imply that. But I would like to urge everyone to think about why you stay away from color. I totally get that it is also a very sustainable thing to have basics in your wardrobe that are not tied to trends or maybe seasonal preferences that you might have yourself. But I also think colorful things and colorful clothing is some sort of PPE against patriarchy. I think to reclaim our existence as women and minorities of any kind, we have to show up as bright and colorful and annoying and obnoxious as we can be, and be as loud as possible. We have to incorporate color as a form of resistance for our movement, you know? So these are all of my somewhat controversial takes. I would love to hear your hot takes on anything knitting or crafting related. If something stuck out to you in this video that you would like to elaborate on further in the comments, I would love to hear it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you soon. Bye.